First or second floor?
You want to go up the stairs? All right, let's try it.
First floor's pretty open, pretty self-explanatory. Just got the burn room there. The second floor has a little bit more panels we can move around for different search scenarios, room setups, that sort of thing.
And we're all about it. As far as like with everything that's going on, the guidelines are basically that's fine. And that's fine. It's fine for us if we do that. So you're talking about this new model. Well, basically, we fill out that permit, you have to go ahead and move everything. What exactly it is, whatever.
And that's like something that you report to RAPCA?
Yeah, we fill out their form that they basically require. So they'll ask for like a little site plan. They'll ask you what are you burning. So ours is it's a training fire guideline, so you have to fill that out. And then they look at that to basically to judge whether or not they feel that you're within those limits.
Yeah. Do you guys expect that like smoke would be like, since you guys are doing it sort of like in a contained area, like do you have like an idea of like what sort of like amount like particulate matter that you guys are like trying to stay within in terms of the brands that you guys are doing?
Well, I mean, the particulate matter, that's like EPA is one that judges on that, but the NFPA 1403 is the one that goes into it has to be the clean dry wood, it has to be pine and Excelsior, it has to be straw. So that's what we would follow. And we'll take you into this room, the ones that you hadn't, or anybody else who wants to get into it.
I don't know if you know, that's Sean, President, spoke to him before, and Dan.
Hi.
Please, hello.
Hi, Dan. It's nice to see you.
Oh, did I lose somebody? Okay. So this is one of the burn rooms. This is one of the burn rooms that would be used. There's one of two rooms. It's reinforced metal in here, and that's just to protect basically the structure itself, so it doesn't warp or anything from the heat that would be in. But what I talked about in FPA 1403, for us, it has to be clean dry wood. You notice it says right here, it's HT, it's heat treated. If you do any research, you'll notice that methylbromide isn't something like I said in the UK and the United States, not really used. There's strict guidelines on that. But we want to be as safe as possible, so that's why we've got that. We have two pallets. They're different. I told you if you had a fire at your house in city ordinances, you'd have it being a 4 by 4 foot area, right? It has to be contained. Same thing with this, same amount of wood that you would have for that. And then we use straw as per 1403 guidelines as the Excelsior. We don't use any chemicals, we don't use gasoline, we don't use diesel or anything like that. We take the straw, we put it on here, and we ignite it. And that's so we can get the heat so the guys can come through when they're doing their training and they can get that feel of the heat. Like I said, we have 14 new firefighters. We have to get them that experience. And so this meets the needs that we have. We don't have to go out of service. We have it here where we can do that kind of training right now.
I'm sure that kind of training is invaluable. I mean,
It
for a
is.
fire.
So within the fire service, we lose 100 firefighters in the country a year. That's usually the line of duty deaths. So and that goes everything from cardiac to firefighters who get lost, who get tangled up, injuries, falls. There's a lot that goes in there. But yeah, you're going and you're wearing 80 pounds a year. All right, so you're coming into a superheated environment. You're using today's environment. The couches, the sofas, the PVCs that are inside there burn hotter and faster than they ever have. So that's what we're going into. That's the environment. So we have to get guys trained and acclimated to do that. And that's why it's good. Now, as far as how many times, I mentioned that before, it takes quite a bit of resources and logistics. So it's not like it's going to be the super often thing. For the most part, for us, it's going to be coming in here while they're on duty. And they'll come in and we'll do a drill. There would be no burning or anything like that. That'd be more than a high 90% of the time for us, fire department, would come in here to do search and rescue training. That's a big one. ISO mandates that we that we basically do a lot of that. So to meet that requirement, this facility meets that for us to do it. But smoke machines, non-toxic smoke, fog machines that people use at their birthday parties and that you see at skating rinks, that would be probably the majority of what we would use, and that's distilled water and glycerin
Oh, for the training?
for the smoke. Yeah.
Right.
So if I sit on duty, I said, "All right, fellas, we've got a training drill today. We're going to come out and drill that. We've got a fire in progress, and that we've got people trapped on the second floor. I'm going to need Nick, his crew over here. We're going to have to go up to the second floor, ladder the second floor, search the second floor, and if they find a victim, they're going to have to remove the victim." Now, can you imagine having 80 pounds of gear, and it's not that hot out today? Imagine being July or August, and now you have to go in there, you're breathing air, you've got an air bottle, you have to look around, you're searching, total darkness, using a thermal imagery camera, you're trying to find a victim. We have dummies, 165-pound dummies. I can tell you that most people weigh a little bit more than 165 pounds. So we take that dummy, we got to pull that dummy through that environment to the window, and then they've got to try to practice putting that down. Now, can you imagine if you never practiced that, and you never trained for that, and all of a sudden you said, "Today's the day, go get my kids, or go get my grandma, or go get my..." You'd want your guys and your girls trained to the very highest level.
I have a couple questions. So I don't think my name is Alicia Lang.
Okay.
It's nice to meet you.
Tim?
Hi, Tim. So I don't think anybody is against fire training, but I think because this wasn't used in the past 6 years, correct?
So this building, you mean, this particular building?
Right. Like you haven't been doing fire training here though.
Because we didn't have a building to do it, so that's why. So that was a question I seen posed before. Someone had put out and say, "Hey, we went back, we looked at the records, we see you guys only came out here 10 times." And I'd love to answer that question. So, the intent for us, as far as being the fire department, was always to have a facility that we could train at. So when this particular property came up, and I said came up, it's like when they decommissioned it, they were going
When was that?
I couldn't tell you the exact date.
Like-
I don't know if it's 20, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
I
I don't know if it's
don't-
like 2015, 2017.
Okay.
It's somewhere around
So it wasn't
there.
like the past year.
No. But
Okay.
when they were looking at decommission, when they built the new one, we were like, "Hey, there's an opportunity like this property.
Right.
What could we do?" Because we don't really have anything for us to train on, right?
Right.
And all we have is our fire station. So where do you practice laddering? Where do you practice that? So we're like,
Right.
we looked at it and we're like, what about if we use this facility here, the old water plant, and we could go in there and we could do some training. And so the city at the time was like, "Hey, if you guys can use that and it would be used, that would actually, I'm sure that would save as far as demolition, or at least till we get to that point." So that's what we looked at. Now our goal was to say we want to get a training building like this. So we went over there. The problem with it is it's limited on what we can do.
Right.
So we did, let's say, the 10 trainings that were over there. Most of those trainings were technical rescue because it offers a wide variety of technical.
You can go down in the ground.
You can go down the ground.
up.
You can go
Right.
up. You can go in
I've
the
seen
pipes.
videos
Yeah.
and photos.
Yeah, you go up
I
the
don't
pipes.
think that's a concern either. I think that's where the disconnect with concerned citizens and your department is, because we love you guys,
Well, that's good because we like to be
Right.
loved.
We-
we like to be loved.
we love you guys,
Yeah.
and we want the best for you.
Right.
But I guess where we're upset is that myself, in particular, I have asked questions that have risen from the battery burning, right? And didn't get any answers, got no communication, got nothing, right? And I think if this was what was happening here for the past
Right.
however long, I don't think people would have a problem with it.
Right.
I think that we're concerned about Hampshire cabinets. We're concerned about ourselves.
Right.
I've had to personally undergo some medical treatments and things that are, I don't want anyone to suffer for something that's unnecessary. That's not
Right. And
part
that's-
of our fire department, because it makes the fire department look bad.
Right. And
It
that's where I
makes.
think we're at right now. So we're trying to move forward with that.
Can you move forward without working with Dalen Zartman?
Well, I don't really I don't really want to speak out because I don't know, but I don't know where even he's at. I can't really speak to things I don't know, but I just can speak for as far as with us as a department for our training value of it. I mean, Bowling Green has. I know
I
that Bowling
came
Green,
today to ask you to please discontinue your
Yeah.
relationship with that man
Okay.
and Bowling Green.
So Bowling Green, with Bowling Green,
Because we
where they
need
have
this.
the
I
relationship
also
with
feel
them-
like this is a nuisance here. I know this building. I don't feel like your training is a nuisance. I feel like it's a nuisance right here. And I feel like we don't know if it's contaminated,
the building.
the site. If there's dioxins present, there's no safe amount level of dioxin. And that's a concern for you.
Well,
And for him.
I can tell you, I feel with the tests that were done and what I know about the facility,
Right,
I feel comfortable. But I
And
understand.
I understand
Yeah.
your place, but from the documents that I've requested and I've seen, I think maybe you should do FOIAs and public records requests, and you don't listen to me.
I just.
We want you guys.
No, and we appreciate that. I can tell you're very sincere about that, and
Like, I don't hate you guys.
No, I don't think we do. It's just for us. It's such an important thing for that amount of training that for us because you're getting those.
And we want you
firefighters
to
in
have it, and
Right.
we don't
Well,
want
you're in a tough
we
spot now
don't we don't
because-
want to be angry.
Absolutely.
What
I know,
happened
and
before. So
that's-
now it's like,
Yeah.
people are all taking it with a grain of salt, like.
Yeah, and that's why
Okay,
we're
so,
trying.
you
It's
know.
like I can only move forward.
Right,
but-
right.
understand.
And I totally get that. It's like you're,
So,
you know.
yeah, for us, it's, that's kind of how it is. And for us, the building, like I said, this is what we're looking, no different than if you were in the city and you said you want to have a little
and I don't
fire,
think-
recreational
I mean, I
fire.
don't think people have a problem with
Yeah.
that.
I don't think anyone has a problem with that. I
Because
think
honestly, that's what I thought was happening here. For
And that's
years.
the
Like,
problem.
that was what we thought was happening. So, it's unfortunate the way it went down. But,
Yeah, like I said,
moving
I-
forward, hopefully
yeah,
it
we
stays
wanna-
that way.
I feel like while we weren't the ones that
Yeah.
ruined the trust,
Right,
we
right.
understand that there's got to be trust that has to be built up,
Yeah.
and that's what we're
Thank
trying
you
to
for
do.
that.
But at the same token, like I said, I'm sending people in to the worst situations,
Sure,
and I have to make sure that those
Understood.
people are trained.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so that's
And we
for us.
want that.
We can do. I can maybe guys run to. I'm going to show you some of the other things and why I think it's important and what this.
we
building
agree that
offers
it's
for-
important. Just
And,
if you could, like, just from at least myself, I can't speak for anyone else, but could you at least please take into consideration terminating the agreement with Bowling Green?
So
Just anybody, get anyone else.
yeah, that's
out
the only
here.
thing. I
You
yeah.
can get someone else.
Yeah, it's just that educational was that they when the grant was given to the department, they don't turn $400,000 over to the department or to the city. And because it was a PDAC grant, they have to have an educational facility that basically they are the ones that, I guess you call it, holds the funds. So you call it like a third party, they hold the funds. So that's the way. It
I
works.
believe
They-
it
they
in like
held- they held
11,
the
12, and
funds.
13. I believe they violated all that. I'd have to, don't quote me on the numbers. We deserve to have this as a gift from what they've done to us. We shouldn't owe a cent. They should break the contract. This should be ours. You should find somewhere else to put it and find another school or another, fire organization that can make sure that they are able to certify, and we move forward. Because I think continuing that relationship, like I have an email, I have a document that I got from the attorney at Bowling Green State University, and it says $20.5 million was paid for one burn out here. And I think we're concerned because with that kind of money and with the backdoor sort of behavior that has happened and transpired, I don't think anyone believes that the battery burning is going to stop. Maybe it would not be announced to you, but that kind of money, it's just a concern.
Right. I do know that the user agreement spells out what can happen. and
I
we're
know,
gonna
but
follow
did you
that.
read it where it says if they didn't change a thing? All they did was change the wording from training and certification, okay? And then in the document I got on Tuesday, said it excludes fire training.
Okay. I know
So,
the one, I saw
I-
one, and I don't know which one. I know I saw one.
Unless someone handed me a document that was
showed
not
where, like the
accurate.
first one said they could do fire training, and then it said research and development. That was the previous, I don't know if it was 2021.
Do you but you
Yeah.
understand that they can do this because of a loophole in the fire code, correct? Like that's why Dalen is able to do this business, is there's a loophole. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, yeah. I don't foresee anything. Like I said, I think with now, and that's fine. We're trying to be as transparent, but I don't foresee, anything, like I said, we're held now that we're doing the
I'm happy to
training, the burning.
send you some
but
documents
We're
to
doing
look
the
at.
burning. And we're going to follow that NFPA 1403.
We
to
know
the letter.
you personally might, but what's happened in the past and what may happen
Right.
in addition to what you're doing is the concern. So I'm not going to keep going on.
No, I appreciate it. I don't know where to
I
go with it
just-
because I don't know. Like I said,
No,
that's above.
and if you don't mind, I'll
Yeah.
send you some documents that I feel might.
Yeah, that's by all
Is
means.
somebody from Pickle supposed to be present if they're doing it?
Yes, so that's an awesome question, because we did talk about that. So we will have a 1403, I use that term, but that's the term, because that's like our guidelines of what we rule by. So we will have an NFPA 1403 certified fire instructor anytime out here, no matter who uses it. So when I say who, that's not a big open, I don't want that to be misconstrued as an open, it's not. It's just if, obviously, if we're doing training, we would do that. If one of our partner agencies like Lockington or Covington or whatever, they wanted to do training for their people, they'd have to go through the same thing. They'd have to file for a burn permit. They would have to do the same thing. But we would have one of our 1403 instructors out here, in addition to whatever instructors that they would have, who would have somewhere. That way, we ensure that someone's not doing something, bringing something in, or trying something. But they're regulated too by the same guidelines. But we'll ensure that someone is out here at all times through that training evolution, so nothing happens.
And just for clarity,
Yeah.
they're not going to be burning any batteries? Bowling Green?
No, and I believe that on that research, like I said, that I don't even know if they have that research group even there, but no, they're not. And like I said, from the user agreement I saw,
That's where the disconnect is. It's not the research group. They're the
Yeah.
least of the worries. It's Dalen's Artman.
yeah, I don't.
I'm sure he's moved on to his next town, and
He's the instructor at Bowling Green State University.
I mean,
He's
he
one.
moves from
He's
town
one
to
of them.
town.
Yeah, I assume he's still probably there, but yeah, because usually most of you have instructors. A lot of us are instructors at other places. None of us are Bowling Green instructors, but instructors at different locations. So they usually have a cadre of like 300-400 instructors.
And I mean, I think he preys on small towns. He goes and sets up something like this, and then once he gets run out of town, he goes on to the next one and does it there. So I mean, I guess he's out of our hair now if we have hair.
I'm gonna take you guys out.
On to the next one.
Kind of money they're dumping out there, could they not find a desolate place and build, how hard is it to build a cement pad and burn and find a place that's not detrimental to
Right.
the public? I mean, there's all sorts of people right here. That's the frustrating thing is why does
He lives
it have
across
to
the
be,
street.
Yeah,
why does it
you're-
have to be among, this close to people where there's like, I'm not asking you, of course.
Oh, yeah, no,
That's
I don't have the
that's
answer,
just
but
a
yeah.
rhetorical,
Right. Okay.
Wondering why keep putting yourself in a position why endanger people where you do get run out when there's probably an alternative that would be safe to everyone, regardless of. I mean, of course you don't have that.
I don't know, but.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not asking. I'm just asking out loud, like, why, I wonder why.
You don't need to apologize. You live across the street and it's scary.
Yeah.
And you guys have had to breathe in things that you were lied to about, so it's scary.
Not a fan.
Did you have any more questions on that?
No, you, fine. Thank you.